Okay, it is 6:31. I'm gonna call this evening's meeting to order. First, can we have a motion to amend the agenda for the evening? I realized after I sent it out that I forgot to add after our executive session discussion, coming out of this executive discussion and having discussion and possible action on the director posting and job description applications and interview process. Can I get a motion to amend and add?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, so we're starting this evening with public comment, so there's nobody present in the room with us, but we have some visitors online. So is there anybody who's joining us virtually who would like to engage in public comment this evening? Okay, seeing none, we will go ahead and move on. Item 3 on our agenda is the approval of minutes. There were 3 sets of minutes that were sent out. January 22nd, which was a regular meeting, February 5th, a special meeting, and February 12th, another special meeting. So let's start with January 22nd.
I do have a request with the January 22nd because
Sure.
it was brought to my attention. Under item 3, the second sentence, where it said I had recused myself from this and all discussion related to. I would like it to accurately reflect what I had said because I had stood up and said that I would be recusing myself from the initial process and any posting or review of packets and your initial interviews. But I knew you would be sending any recommendations to the full board. So at that point, I would be part of that process at the end. So I just wanted to more accurately reflect because this is a little confusing the way it was listed here. So if you don't mind, if someone could approve that correction.
Yeah, I'm just looking to see.
Where is it? Cause I'm looking at.
Oh, it's page 2. It's under item 3. Oh, you know what? I apologize.
Item
It's the
3.
January 8th. My apologies. They were approved at the January 22nd. It's the January 8th minutes. My apologies.
Oh, okay.
No, we don't have
They
that.
don't
were
have that.
approved on the 22nd.
Okay.
But it was from the
Oh,
January 8th meeting.
excellent, thank you.
My apologies.
No,
Got my dates mixed up.
No, you're-
So is there any special process for
I would
amending
just,
ones that have
if you
already
make
been approved?
the approval here, then I would
You can
resubmit them
resubmit.
to the town clerk and to Jen so that those can be replaced with the newly adopted minutes.
Okay. So what is this, the
Can you,
wanna
Emily,
reword?
find the
January 8th minutes?
minutes?
Yes, if I am online, I can.
It was that first date popped out at me, that said, but I didn't realize it was approved at the 22nd meeting. It wasn't actually those minutes.
It doesn't normally work here, at least my wife is never really connected.
Town of Bethany, 123.
I have it. It's just, oh, that's it. You have it. It's like,
I do, right,
Quick.
for February
I
5th?
went on the website, yeah.
No, it was the
No, it
January
was
8th minutes.
January 8th, that was
January
approved
8th
on the
minutes.
22nd.
Okay,
And it was
January
number
8th.
3, under number 3 on page 2.
And what exactly is the wording, like, instead of saying recusal from
Recused herself from the initial
initial process?
process of
and
the posting in review of packets and initial
and
interviews
Initial.
as the commission would be sending the finalist or however many we're gonna be sending. We didn't know at that point.
So the current reading of it says, Commission Member Rooney made a motion to establish a framework for the hiring process of a Director of Park and Recreation. Member Guthrie seconded the motion. First Selectman, Francesco recused herself from this and all discussions related to the hiring process and left the meeting.
The hiring process is the kind of sticky point because.
Right, because
you
our
recommended-
interpretation was right, the process that we as a
Yeah.
commission was going through with
Mhm.
collecting the applications, reviewing the applications,
Doing the initial
making,
interviews,
correct,
right.
making recommendations for who we would bring in for
Okay, yeah.
first and second interviews.
Thank you.
The
Mhm.
questions, that part of the process, everything up to us bringing.
I mean,
to
you
the
could
Board
word
of
it that way if
Selectmen.
you wanted to. You could word it potentially up to recommending to the full board of
Right,
selectmen.
right,
If
up to
Yeah,
if
it's
that
clear.
clarifies it, if that clarifies it.
Which is exactly what the hiring process entailed, and you were not a part of
From our
any of
perspective,
that.
Mhm.
But that still would be technically, when you're, at that point, it is the hiring process, so I
Correct,
get
right,
it.
it's the final hiring
Yeah.
decision, right.
Right,
So that's,
So we could specify it as first Selectman Francesco recused herself from,
The first year round.
what if we said something, just like
Right.
recused herself from reviewing applications?
Mhm.
Um,
Initial interviews.
yeah, I
I
would say,
mean, it was a series. of
or why don't we just can we make it simple, say interview process up until a final decision is made by the Board of
until the
Selectmen?
final recommendation.
You know,
to
that
the-
would probably clarify, I think, the
Mhm.
cleanest,
Mhm.
simplest.
Until the final recommendation to the board.
okay, so it will read, first Selectman Francesco recused herself from this. And all discussions related to the hiring process up to the final interview before the Board of Selectmen.
Mhm.
Yeah, that clarifies it.
Like I said, I just wanted it to more accurately reflect.
Correct, right, yep, I was gonna say, I think our intent,
Was.
Yeah, that was the intent.
Yes,
right, a little bit
but
ambiguous.
all you leave out is a couple of words and it can kind of.
Correct. because
Correct.
we used it either way.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Thank you, I
Um,
appreciate that.
May I have an official motion to amend that language from the January 8th?
So moved.
Thank you, may I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. And then we will resubmit those to the town.
Here.
Okay, so then that brings us back to the January 22nd regular meeting minutes.
Okay, yeah, actually, right.
May I have a motion to approve those minutes?
Are these the ones, I believe, there's one that has my name wrong, it says Elizabeth.
Oh,
It's the February 5th.
With January 22nd, I can make a motion to approve that one.
okay. Is January 22nd the one where yours is
No, it says
correct?
Emily.
Okay. So can I have a motion for January 22nd? That was you, Jamie?
Yeah.
Can I have a second for approval of those?
Well, second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is that an aye?
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. So motion carries unanimously. Which brings us to the February 5th special meeting. Can I have a motion to approve the
That's the one we need
February?
to picture.
Yep, can I have a motion though to approve them first?
Do we make it?
And then I think we make,
And then
that's
we
in the
make it?
discussion.
Oh.
Yeah. So Emily, you moved.
I moved to.
Can I have a second?
Second,
Discussion.
So we gotta change that.
Okay, so February 5th, I think,
Yeah, commission member absent.
Eric
This one
did
needs to be fixed to the
those, but
12th.
I may have
okay.
them, if you may share them with me.
Oh, she called me back. So I'm gonna,
Yeah,
run and
sure.
just
Yep, yep,
take
yep.
this for a second and
Yep.
I'll be right back.
Okay, so I have them from Eric, so I will amend that to correctly state Emily's name,
Mhm.
even though Elizabeth would also be a lovely
Yes.
name, it's Emily.
I know.
That is perfect, okay. Any other discussion about those? Okay, so all in favor of approving the February 5th meeting minutes as amended for Emily's name?
Aye.
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 Okay, so motion carries unanimously. I was in the 12th too, because you know why I used the same ones.
Mhm.
Cut and
Okay,
paste.
so yeah, that's totally what I did. Can I have a motion to approve the February 12th?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
No second.
So the discussion there would also be to correct Emily's name, because we use the same set of minutes, like the attendance piece. Any other discussion about those?
No.
Okay. So I'm gonna correct 2.5 and 2.12, resend, okay. All in favor of the amended February 12th meeting minutes, again with Emily's correct name?
Aye.
All
Aye.
right,
Motion carries.
Good to go, right?
yes, I think we're good with the minutes.
Okay, so we are through minutes, that's delightful.
Mhm.
Okay,
One simple one.
the next item is discussion and possible action, Camp College from the CRPA. We received an email from that organization about the fact that they are holding and apparently annually hold like a training session for any camp counselors. At Southern, it's $15 per person. So I had sent that information to Leslie and asked her just to kind of like add that into our budget. Should we find ourselves in a position where we are, you know, looking to train camp counselors? So it was really just more informational purposes for you guys. I just wanted to keep you
Okay.
in the loop about the fact that that is an offering that they have.
Great,
At a fairly reasonable rate as well.
very reasonable.
So something for us to just kind of be aware of. So she was nice enough to add that in. No action needed on that unless there's any questions for things that you guys have.
I would just be curious what they cover.
They cover a lot of, they have a lot of topics, like even down to DEI, and stuff like that.
Yeah, they've been sending out like
You're right,
calls.
that's
No,
on the-
I don't, no, because, you know,
But would it
but,
be good?
but they have like it's.
They have been sending out calls for presenters,
Yeah.
so like, they're looking for presenters on
Social
like
emotional
conflict
learning.
resolution.
Yeah.
Um,
They sent it
you know,
last
That's great. I'm just curious if it's great
Yeah.
for people who are very experienced camp
Camp.
counselors and brand new people who've never done it. or-
correct, yeah.
Camp for behavior management, programming,
Oh, great.
PEI, mental health, inclusion. Like they're trying to like get a whole bunch of stuff that they're looking to do. It's,
One, I think the park and rec director from, was it Southington is the one who seems to be spearheading it?
Bolton,
Bolton,
maybe?
like whatever the one.
Okay, yeah, Stephanie Crane from the
Yes.
Recreation
Is it
Director at
Bolton?
Bolton, yeah.
Yeah. And my thinking was just like, you know, if we had anyone kind of hired at that point, that it might make sense to then, even if we use it as kind of like a trainer of
Yeah.
trainers piece.
Yeah,
Yeah,
In the past, historically, Leslie said that they had like a couple of hours, like 2 hours, maybe of training, but I was like, yeah.
yeah. This would be
better, yeah.
Exactly. So, at any rate, that was added into, the budget. Any other discussion? Okay. The next agenda item was just discussion and possible action on the budget. I have not heard anything additional from Leslie at this juncture. I know she's I think they're actually meeting right now, the Board of Finance.
Yeah.
So they continue to meet, and evaluate the different budgets. We did receive an update that the interior of the Park and Rec building is going to be repainted. Cause there was some damage to the walls from items being like taped and stuff. So that was approved, like, I guess the Board of Finance agreed to include that in, I think, like the maintenance budget. But otherwise, as of now, everything that we kind of initially had put into the budget in our work with Leslie remains in that budget. And if there are any additional updates, I will pass those on to her. Any other questions or comments about the budget? So item 6 is discussion and possible action on Bethany hoops. Craig is not here yet. He said he might be late, but he did share an update with me. 4th to 6th grade boys are 6 games into their season. They said they're very evenly matched and the playoffs will be very competitive. The Goddesses, which is our 4th through 6th grade girls team, are 5-2 in the Orange League. They have a first round bye, I don't even know what that means. And they'll play in the semifinals on March 8th at 11:30, and fingers crossed, we'll play the championship on March 15th at 10. All of those games are taking place at Mary L. Tracy School. The K1 program has 2 sessions left, concluding on March 10th, and the 2nd and 3rd grade program has 4 sessions left, concluding on March 15th. Both groups have shown tremendous growth since their first practices in early January. The Bethany Fire Department has graciously offered to host the end of season pizza party for the fourth to sixth grade
Oh, cool.
boys
Isn't
and
that
girls.
nice?
That's really nice.
On March 22nd at noon. If
When is
anyone-
that?
March 22nd at
Okay.
noon. If anyone wants to donate desserts, drinks, or other food items, please reach out to Craig. And then he has already reserved the middle school and BCS for next season. And has been in contact with the Park and Rec Director from Woodbridge about potentially looking to combine resources for next winter. And kind of share across the two towns, because I think theirs is a little.
They only have
smaller.
about 10, and I think we have 14.
Yeah, I think
So
so.
they, and I know some of the girls have been going down to the clinic that they have on Friday nights.
Yeah.
At Beecher, so.
Are we thinking of doing a kind of like an exit survey to families? I think that might be a good idea.
I just want you to know all the feedback I've gotten is people are thrilled.
Yeah, no,
with the
but it would be
program,
nice to
so.
like have it like done in like a Google, like a
Yeah.
Google Doc, like a Google form, and then we can actually share. The results like the survey on the Parks and Rec side. I think that would be good for,
Yeah, except for all
Yeah.
positive as well.
Yeah,
It's
I
been
heard all
really,
positive
really good. A
too.
friend of mine
It'd
talked
be
about his
to
daughters on the
have
girls'
that.
team and he said the development was fantastic.
They're
Yeah.
having fun.
What if we ask Nick in his role as the coordinator to put together a survey and share it with us?
Yeah.
Share what questions you think you might want asked. He may not think of all of them, but
Right.
you as parents who
Yeah.
might have kids in the program might think of
Yeah.
questions he might not, just as a suggestion.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even if he puts the survey together and shares it with us, we could all we could
Yeah.
review it at our March
Yeah.
meeting
Yeah.
Mhm.
and send it out, cause that'll be right after the season ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll ask Nick to work on that, I think that's a great idea,
Yeah.
that's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
The one thing I did just want to make sure that other commission members, and those in our audience were aware of is that Craig did offer to coach, and help coach the grades 2 and 3 program, because that one's running at capacity. We have Nick there, obviously, and there was one parent who offered to coach, but obviously can't necessarily make it every single time. I know that they've gotten sick a little bit over the winter too. So he graciously offered to step in and has been volunteering his time the last couple of weeks. We had, had some discussion about, potentially paying him for helping with that. And he declined that. But I just wanted to kind of publicly thank him for
Yeah.
offering that, because he has put a ton of time into
Mm.
like booking all of the sites initially and kind of getting everything up and running, and the fact that he's coaching his own children's program. But he is also now coaching another program. And so I do think that as we look forward to next year, just kind of being mindful of the fact that we may need to pay additional coaches for some of these age groups. Because it's not always possible to get parent volunteers.
We're just
And
gonna have to
parent
be
volunteers
careful
are
of
not always.
commission members doing that, just because it is a conflict of interest.
Well,
Yeah.
it can be a little bit of a sticky,
Yeah.
again, I just think we're gonna need to look at how many coaches we
Yeah.
really need to make it
Yeah.
work. But wanted to thank Craig for his
Yeah.
ability to offer that to us as well. Okay, the next item, is there anything else with hoops? Okay.
You have 2 number 7s, just be aware, so if Emily,
Yeah.
you're taking
Uh,
notes,
Oh,
you've got 2
I'll
number
update
7s
that,
there.
thank you. Okay, so. Paula, with regard to like the donation of. Like drinks, desserts. Just thinking, like, is there a way to share that out?
A way to do what?
Share that
Doesn't
out,
Eric have that available?
You mean like something on Facebook to get that,
yeah,
or, I mean, do
You could have
you,
Nick do it, so you could have Nick do a survey, like a survey monkey,
Job-
like a.
job
Right,
forms
like the
is like a
sign-up.
Well,
good
we,
sign up.
like, yeah, like we did like
Right.
a sign up genius, like for any
right,
of our hockey
Okay.
stuff. And then you put exactly what you need.
yeah,
what time of the day is it supposed to be?
so I think it's at noon.
So are you you're looking for lunch items and you have to get a
So
head count?
the fire department is buying the pizza, so they're looking
Okay.
for desserts and drinks.
Desserts and drinks, okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's great.
Very nice.
Do you want to, just as a thought,
yeah,
invite the sponsors?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, good thought.
definitely, yeah.
Not because I'm one, but just
No,
like, you know,
no,
you have-
absolutely,
you know,
it sounds
only
like
because
it
you
is.
do
They
have
should
other
be-
companies and people that have
Yeah.
sponsored. and
Yeah.
it's nice for them to see the culmination of the program, so.
That's right,
Did
yeah.
you give them anything for like thanking anybody, like making up like a t-shirt or so, like, I don't know, or like a little like. thank
They
you
did
smile?
all
Would you
get
like to-
t-shirts.
Okay,
Um,
all
Yeah, they
right,
all got t-shirts for
Okay.
the team that they sponsor.
okay,
And perhaps we can ask Nick at the end of the season to just
maybe like do a
pen them a
certificate,
quick,
yeah,
like,
like a
thank you.
certificate,
I don't
like a
know
little
if he's
certificate.
put
In the
Um,
office, in the building,
Yeah.
sometimes he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another
Yeah, they
thought
do.
is for see, it's ending mid-March.
Yep.
I don't know how close it would be with the bulletin, but if you want to do some kind of a thank you article from the park and rec,
Yeah,
to thank the sponsors and whoever volunteers,
Mhm.
coaches,
Yeah.
whoever else
Yeah.
had any part, and maybe also the fire department for
Yeah, that's
hosting,
true too,
you know, an end of the year
Yeah.
celebration.
yeah,
Anybody who sort of did
That's-
something, I mean, just a,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
no, that's
Could
a
we
great
put a
idea.
call out for the volunteers for the drinks and,
it'll
desserts?
be too close, because it
Will it be
would have
too
already
close?
gone, it would have gone in this
Okay.
bulletin,
Right,
which just came in the mail today, so
I saw that, yeah.
it's too late, but I mean. If you're looking for volunteers beyond the parents, then I would say if you want to put something together, we could put it on the website and the Facebook page.
I think you gotta be careful with that, cause you could end up having people that donate so much stuff that you have so much extra stuff, so I think
Or
it's
keep
better
it to
to
the
do it like a.
parents.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's what you
survey-
do, do a
survey.
survey,
That's fine.
do
Yeah.
Survey
Just
Monkey,
to the parents?
Yeah.
have it sign up what it is,
I mean,
you're
you
gonna
know,
get
just
more,
think
you're
of
gonna
this
get more than
Community
enough stuff
involved,
anyways.
You know, seniors, you
Yeah.
know, get them involved and,
Yeah, I just think you
Yeah.
could have way
Yeah.
too much stuff.
no, okay,
You
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Because
Like
you
I
have a
could
lot
see
of
if like maybe
kids
it was
that-
like if we had summer camp and it was the end of summer camp and
We
like
could do
we
that
wanted
then.
people to do something like that if we had it, but like.
Mhm.
I think for like a sport event, like parents usually,
Yeah,
you
true.
know,
yeah, makes
Keep that in
sense.
mind for the, yeah, summer camp.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
okay, so the real number 7. Discussion and possible action of upcoming events and activities. So the only thing that I received was something actually from Jen Capasso. It was actually a little bit ago about. Sorry, I'm trying to find it now. It sounded like a woman here at town hall, and I don't know who she is. My apologies for that. Who like recently got her baking certificate.
Eileen Babbitt's?
Yes.
But she works at the school.
She's a
She
school
has, she
teacher.
has done the cooking classes
Classes
after
there,
school,
okay.
with the
Not
kids.
familiar with
Yes,
her
yeah.
yet.
And she told
Yeah.
me at some point that she would love to do the baking things again, and
Right,
she had gotten this, I think, the ServSafe certification.
that's
maybe,
correct, yes.
which previously the director in this had, so she was like using hers.
It's like
got
a
her
food,
own,
it's a food
food
certificate,
service
food
manager.
prep and everything, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So it sounded like there was some interest from her in talking to the commission about if we had any interest in kind of like helping to run, to kind of get up and running a cooking class, a cooking program with the kids. I had, said to Jen, like, I don't know who she is. So I was like, sure, like I can reach out to her. I just don't know how to get in touch with her. So I don't have her contact information yet, but obviously if she's at the school, it's easy. So I wasn't sure if, as the commission, we wanted to think about taking on additional programs before we have a director, or if we want to kind of say at this point, we need to kind of hold until we have a director.
I mean, as much as I'd love to, I
Yeah.
think we've taken on so much.
Yeah,
here,
we need a
and
director.
still- Yeah, like,
Yeah.
you know, so
yeah.
if maybe it can happen in the summer, if somebody's here, but I think for us to take it on, I mean, we've committed so much.
Yeah,
that-
I'm fine with that. I just. didn't
Yeah,
know you-
no,
And
make
knowing
that
who's
decision.
gonna supervise it. Also, I think a lot of those classes were great for parents to sign their kids up, because
Then they
then
went
they
to
could go to after school
Yeah,
at Parks and
yeah.
Rec. So
yeah.
I don't know how many families would sign.
Right,
Many.
and then you'd have to, like, was there another staff there with them?
And there's only,
When
actually,
they,
no, it
when
was like-
she, was it just her with
I
the
think it was just her,
and
but
there
like,
were
it was
other
her and
people
the
Anthony
here
would check in
needed.
on them,
Yeah.
or,
Right.
Yeah.
but we don't have that.
Yeah.
I agree, I
Yeah.
think we can do.
Yeah, because there's only so much space in that kitchen, so it was
Mhm.
limited to a couple of times a week, so.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so I will, I'll email her and just let her know that at this point, like, until there's a director in place, the commission doesn't feel that we can kind of take on anything additional. But that we would certainly be interested in kind of pursuing that if and when
Can we
have
ask
a
her to like
director.
put the proposal together of what she would want it to be too, just so that whenever somebody, you know,
Yeah, that's a
whenever
good idea.
somebody's there, that we at least have, it, so
Sure.
we know what she's thinking it'll look like and what it also entails that she would need.
Yep.
Right, because
Maybe I
that's
can
something,
ask her to come even to like our March or
Yeah,
April meeting.
yeah. Just
to
because
talk
it's like,
about
are there things that I know the kids paid for it, but did that cover the total expense of what they did?
Right.
Or was it supplemented by
Yeah,
any?
she can kind of give us a better
Yeah.
idea. Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
And then no, not that I know of with any other kind of like upcoming events or activities, but I just also wanted to kind of check in to see. You know, is there anything, was there anything that would traditionally have been done by Park and Rec in the past? As we kind of come into the spring,
I'm trying to think with the Memorial Day parade. I think Anthony drove the truck, but I think he drove it for the Bethany Athletic
Athletic
Association.
I
It was
think.
for the association, it wasn't for the Park and Rec department, so.
Okay.
I was just trying to think if there was
do we
anything
want,
else.
do we want to offer hoops kids able to march on the Memorial Day parade?
That would be cute.
I mean, we can,
I mean,
right, they have not ever in the
they never
past.
do that, I don't know.
No, but
There was
I mean, I
there's been
like,
baseball.
I grew up in Hamden where it
There's
was
been
like, yeah,
baseball.
like, you know what I
There's
mean,
been
like where.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in Hampton, we all marched it every.
That's what-
We all marched. We were in a baseball team, marched it. If you
Yeah.
played an instrument, you marched.
It's something that would be nice to like.
I marched
offer
that
to
thing
the
like
kids.
that million times.
They could wear their t-shirts.
Like, would it be something that, you know,
Yeah,
and again, they
yeah.
don't have to do it, but
Right. I think again, we would just have to think of like who would be
Who would.
on site to organize. it.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
We'll find out if there's parent volunteers, if you had some of the coaches who have kids who probably
Yeah.
played.
Right,
I guess we could talk
You
about
know,
that as
you
it's
could-
close, because you could
yeah.
do that,
right.
talk about that at the end of April
Yeah.
or May.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
People
have
can decide.
everybody potentially together for the party at the end of the year, while you have collectively in person,
Right,
you can kind of throw that idea out, lob it out there and see if anybody's
Yeah.
interested, because you'll still have 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
That's a great idea,
You
yeah.
know.
Right.
So Memorial Day.
That's May 26th. And actually that week, just so you know too, and it happened last year, the Bethany Carnival, the BAA Carnival is that same week, Thursday, Friday and Saturday. And as far as I know, the firemen will have their parade on that Friday.
That's fine.
So we'll have 2 parades that week,
Mhm.
Monday and Friday. And I believe they're going to do, the BAA is going to do fireworks again on the Saturday. That is the tentative plan at the moment.
Excellent.
but again, nothing that we need to worry
No,
about.
no.
Okay.
Good for us.
That's on them.
Okay.
That's on them.
Item 8 is the discussion and possible action on Park and Rec policies and procedures. Do we have to make a if we wanted to move this and kind of reverse the order of it?
Or.
So my thinking would be that we would go into executive session first to discuss the director posting job description, applications and interview process prior to.
You can make that motion to move it to the end, yeah.
So can I get a motion to move the Park and Rec policies and procedures to after the executive session and then the public session on discussing the director post and job description?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Okay, so at 7 o'clock, we are going to go, I'm gonna ask for a motion to go into executive session in accordance with Connecticut General Statute 1-200, 2 and 6A for the purpose of discussing the employment of a Park and Rec director. In addition to the commission members present, I'd also like to invite, Palaco Francesco into the
And
executive
if you don't mind, I'd
session.
like to invite the finalist. I was on the phone with her and I'd like to invite her in to be potential part of your conversation.
Sure, and
Oh,
we will
excellent.
invite the Park and Rec Director finalist, who at this point will remain anonymous.
Yeah.
As,
And then once you,
may I get a motion?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
okay, we're
Motion
going
carries
in at
unanimously.
7 o'clock, I am stopping the recording. Came out of executive at
It still says
8:11.
on- It still says on mute myself.
Yeah. That's interesting.
You were muted.
Okay, we're good.
Now we're,
Okay.
Yeah, we're recording.
So it is 8:11. We are coming back out of executive session.
You
It
need a
is,
motion to come out.
No,
yeah,
you're good to come up.
We don't
No,
have
we
to
just
do a
have to note the
motion.
time. You're
okay,
fine.
so 8:11. So in executive session, we discussed the fact that a candidate was brought to the Board of Selectmen for a final interview. The candidate was unanimously offered the director position by the Board of Selectmen, but ultimately did decline accepting that position. The candidate did offer feedback to the commission members, about the final interview with the Board of Selectmen that caused some concern for commission members that the commission would like to discuss with the Board of Selectmen at their next meeting. So we would, request, Paula, that we be added to that agenda,
Mhm.
and,
For an executive session?
I think that part of it would probably be best held in public session or in executive session, but I do think that part of it should be held in public session as well, even if it's a summary after the,
Okay,
if possible.
okay,
So a number of the commission members would like to attend.
okay.
Additionally, since we find ourselves with no director, I'll send you the posting that we created, and we'd like that to go to the Board of Selectmen for, final approval.
Okay.
Hopefully at their meeting on Tuesday so that we can repost the director.
I mean, it's
position.
basically going to be the
It's the
same thing.
same,
If
I'll
there's any
just,
dates that would be necessarily updated and the email, right?
Correct,
You-
yeah.
You'd like it to go to you.
please, yeah.
Okay,
So I'll send that update to you. And then the other thing that we discussed in executive session was absent having a director onboarded. There is a possibility for a pilot program with a third party to run summer camp this year. That third party is going to put together a proposal for us that we will review once received as a possibility to offer that to families this coming. Any other questions or discussion there?
so do you want a motion just to approve everything you just discussed as far as the,
Sure.
and just have it on record that
I'll
it's
second
approved
it.
by the entire
Yeah,
group?
I'll
Okay.
second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Unanimous. Okay, the next item on our agenda was the one that we had moved at the beginning, which was, item 8, discussion and possible action on the Bethany Park and Rec policies and procedures. My hope had been that we would have had a director, onboarded for tonight. And that we would have been looking at crafting policies and procedures, potentially for summer camp and things like that. Since we don't find ourselves in that position, if it's okay with everybody, I would suggest that we skip that agenda item for this evening. So can I get a motion for that?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. Okay. Then the last item is just to adjourn. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
The motion to adjourn. Second.
Beautiful.
8:14.
14, all in favor?
Aye.
Perfect.
Okay, that means I'm gonna stop the recording.